and welcome back to RealTea with Amanda. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how in the hell my mailbox keeps getting slaughtered at my personal home. So this story takes me back to July of 2025, so last year. And me and my husband were at Disney World, and I get a text from my neighbor, "Hey, can you tell me who hit our mailbox?" Because we share a post. I'm thinking, what? So when we get home, we look at the aftermath and oh my God, right? Just how did this happen? So I look on my camera and I'll attach the footage. And I see this car. It's like an older model Subaru Forester, and on the driver's side rear window, a huge Miami Dolphin sticker, right? Huge. And if you're gonna commit a crime, then you should probably get rid of any identifiable things on your car, right? No, she didn't do that. Anyways, so I look and see who did it, and I'm driving around the neighborhood the next day just seeing if they live around there. And I'm driving and I don't see anybody with that car and that sticker. So anyways, I'm like, oh well, that sucks. We finally fix our mailbox. We just put it back together. It's an old mailbox. Okay, and in December, I'm in my car. I'm getting ready to leave for work. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. And I will be damned if that lady in that car with the huge Miami Dolphin sticker didn't drive past my house. So what do? My car's already in drive. I'm already in it. I follow her to her destination. She went a couple streets over and pulled into the driveway, and I parked on the street, but I'm like blocking her in the driveway. And I have all this on a dash cam, so I'll clip that.
Hi. I think you hit our mailbox a while ago. Yeah, a while ago. I have you on video. This car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have you on video.
On Stillwater.
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah, I took out my mirror over there.
Yeah. That'd be great. Because now I know where you live.
Yeah, I don't live here.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I have your tax. But you didn't.
I stopped.
You didn't. I have you on camera.
No, I stopped. I had to pick up my mirror. It was on the ground. I everything on it.
I have you on camera.
Yeah, I did. That piece was on the ground.
I might have come back later.
No, I had to stop in. I have a dog with me. What happened is I was taking my dog to the vet, and I was directing my dog to the vet. And my dog jumped in my lap, and I flipped her over, and bam, I hit the mailbox.
Yeah.
All right, I'll send my husband over. We're going out of town.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yes.
That's all good. That'd be perfect. Thank you. Oh my God, what are the chances?
Video too. So I get out and I'm like, "Hey, I'm pretty sure you hit my mailbox a little while ago." And she was like, "Okay." "What do you mean, okay, weirdo? That's such an odd thing to say." And I'm like, "Yeah, you definitely hit my mailbox." And she's like, "On," enter street name. I said, "Yeah, on street name." And I'm thinking in my head, like, first of all, how many mailboxes have you had to hit that you remember them by street name? Like you have a catalog of mailboxes that you've hit memorized by street name. What? And mind you, this lady's like 70 years old. Okay? So I wasn't looking to press charges or anything, but if you make a mistake, you fix it, right? So she's like I stopped and like what happened was my dog was in my lap and, you know, jumped into my lap or into the floorboard and I veered off the road and I hit your mailbox, but I stopped and I said, you didn't stop. You just kept going. I have you on video. Like you didn't stop. And she's like, no, I stopped. I remember stopping because I had to pick up my mirror. You might have circled around in the middle of the night, which she did. I have that on camera, but I did not save that footage. In a different car in the middle of the night and picked up her mirror. So anyways, I'm like, you didn't stop. I digress. She's like, you know, we're going out of town. I'll tell my husband we're going to make it right. And I'm like, okay, sweet. So we didn't exchange information or anything. Okay, I'm thinking in my mind, I know where you live. And I said that, right? And she's like, I don't live here. This is a friend's house. I'm like, okay. So anyways, I thought in my head, okay, I'll give her 30 days, right? Well, about 2-3 weeks go by, and I'm like, you know what? Forget this. The new year's coming around. I don't want to have to deal with this shit in the new year. So I go down the street to a substation for the sheriff's department. And I call and make the report, and they're like, well, why didn't you make a report back in July when it happened? Okay, I didn't know who did it, first of all. I only had what the car looked like. Okay, I have her literally confessing on camera that she's gonna make it right and then didn't for 2-3 weeks, right? We didn't exchange information. My fucking bad for believing in humanity. My first flag should have been, she already hit your mailbox once and she didn't fix it. Why would she fix it after I confront her? Do you know what I'm saying? So anyways, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I believe in humanity. No, I don't. Not anymore. So anyways, I make my report and he's like, well, do you want to press charges? And I said, well, no, she's like 70 years old, right? She said she was going to make it right. And, you know, if she makes it right, we're good. And so he's like, okay, just sign this saying you're not going to press charges. And I said, I'm not pressing charges yet, right now, meaning at this moment. And he goes, well, if you sign this, you can't go back. And I was like, well, then fuck the signing. I'm not doing it. And he goes, okay, fair enough. And he goes over to his house. I give him one of my business cards. I'm a realtor. I'm shamelessly plugging myself everywhere. My waitresses know that I'm a realtor. Don't play with me. So he gives her one of my cards, and she texts me, and she's like, hey, we've been in and out of the hospital. My husband's got pneumonia and all this stuff. And I'm like, I really hate that for you. That's not my problem, right? Like, we're going to make this right. That was 7 months ago at this point. When are we going to make this right? Obviously, I didn't say that. But in my head, I'm like, that's literally not my problem. So anyways, I'm like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. And I am. But also, this happened several months ago. Are we going to... And she's like, well, I ordered your mailboxes. They're coming via Amazon. Okay, great. So she asks for my address, and mind you, all I need is a phone number to find out where somebody lives, because as a realtor, we get free resources. I say free loosely because we have to pay like $900 a year to have access to the MLS. But when we pay our dues, we get access to an application that we can look people's number up and find out where they live, if they have charges, you know, public record, stuff like that. And what kind of car they drive. And I look her up on that app. And she lives 3 houses away from me. Three houses away from me. Not on the same street. She lives off the street, off of my street. Right, so it's a secondary road. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. So all this time, my neighbor essentially just did me and my neighbor wrong and said, you know what? Fuck that. Who cares? Not my problem. It's your problem today. So I give her my address and she comes over a couple days later with the mailboxes. And I'm like, thanks so much for making this right and all that, because yeah, thank you for making it right. But anyway, so we got that fixed. We had the sexiest mailbox in the city at that point. It was beautiful and Gorgina. So fast forward to a couple weeks ago. This was back in March of 2027. And I'm on my couch watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And all of a sudden outside I hear, skirt! Pew, pew, pew. I'm freaking out. Mind you, I'm a woman. So I'm grabbing my Miska Muska Mouska tool and I walk outside. I'm thinking, oh my God, my brand new car, my 2-day, my 48-hour-old vehicle just got smashed. It's totaled. I'm totally fucked, right? I walk outside, I look at my car. My car's fine. I turn around. My mailbox is all over the place. And I learned my lesson from the first one, guys. Call the Polhihis, make a report. So I called, I made a report. And the bumper of the car that hit my mailbox was in my neighbor's yard. And I kept it, I held it in custody. It's evidence now. My evidence. So I keep the bumper. And if they want it back, they're gonna have to walk past 2 cameras to get it. It's in front of my door. And is it ghetto and tacky and horrendous? Yes, it is. And so is the bumper, because obviously they had done some shit to it before, because there was a tape all over it. So not their first rodeo hitting something and definitely running away. So as I'm calling the police, I see a car is driving real slow. And I'm standing right under a street light so they can see me seeing them, right? And they cut down the side road. These motherfuckers, I'm pretty sure it was the same people that hit my mailbox and it was coming back to collect evidence. Fuck you, I'm keeping the evidence. So the police arrive and they're like, what happened? And I have this on video too. So what happened was they came from a stop, just fucking floored it, right? Burnout style. Ghetto and tacky, whatever. I don't care. You can have fun. Don't have fun on my street. Children play here. The mailbox that they hit, 3 children hang out in that yard. Fuck them. So anyways, they did a burnout, let off the brake, I guess, and lost control. Somehow missed 3 other mailboxes, missed those, and veered off the road. Did a 360, hit my mailbox on the rear end, and the bumper flies over the car, and they speed off. Somehow they got straight. Okay, and I'll clip the video into that because that's actually hilarious. Yeah, it was just, I was shaking. Mind you, that was like, I don't know, 10:54 at night, give or take. It was probably about 11 o'clock. So, anyways, fast forward to the next day. I get a text from my neighbor. I'll share those screenshots. Get a text from my neighbor. It's a picture of the car that hit my mailbox. They're just down the street. Okay? And I see it, I'm like, oh shit. He's like, it's on this street. Say less. For shits and giggles, I hop in my car. I didn't even brush my teeth. I hopped in my car. I drove. Sure enough, it's that motherfucking car. back tail lights busted, missing front bumper. That's our people. That's the person that hit our mailbox. And so I drive back to my house and I knock on my neighbor's door. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning, give or take. And I knock on my neighbor's door and I'm like, hey, I think I know who hit our mailbox and I know where they live. I'm gonna go confront them. I would like a man to come with me. Are you down for the journey? Yes or no? And they're like, no. Okay, that's fine. So we're talking, and no sooner than I say that, the car drives by, the car that hit our mailbox. They drive by. I can see it's a kid. I'm thinking like 16, 17, 18 years old, right? A kid. Still old enough to know better. I'm not excusing anything. But I'm like, it's a kid, right? Some fucking cocky. How brazen do you have to be to come by the next morning down the street that you just committed battery against a fucking mailbox? That's pretty brazen. So he's driving down the street and now my neighbors are hyped up. Okay, I'm hyped up and he drives back, the kid does. My neighbor jumps in front of the car in the middle of the street. Kid rolls his window down. It's an older model Honda Accord. He rolls the window down. He's like, what's going on? My neighbor's screaming at him, you hit their mailbox, you're gonna make it right. Like, hot head, okay? Hot head, very angry, very protective of me, and I respect and appreciate that. I love my neighbors, I like family. So, anyways, I'm holding the kid's bumper and the kid's like, put it on my car. I promise it's not gonna fit it. I didn't hit it. And I'm like, I'm freaking out, right? Because my neighbors at this point because the kid rolled the window down. Okay, my neighbor reaches in the car, opens the door from the inside, rips the kid out. I'm like standing in between them with the bumper blocking them from getting to each other. Okay, my neighbor's here and the kid's here, and I'm blocking, and I'm telling my neighbor, hey, I appreciate you protecting me and all of this, and I love and appreciate that. Your wife is on the porch and she's scared. Please go see if she's okay. Okay, and I look at the kid and I says, hi, I'm Amanda, what's your name? For the sake of the story, I'm not gonna say what his name is. He goes, hey, and I said, nice to meet you. I said, get in your car and go home. And he goes, I swear I didn't. I said, get in your car and go home. Okay, at this point, I don't know what's taking over me. I don't have children, but like motherly instincts are popping in, and I'm like, I need to protect this kid. Okay, my neighbor's a hothead. I know I'm fine, but I'm like, get in your car and go home. He goes, do you need to follow me? And I'm like, no, I know where you live. He's freaking out because I'm like, how do you know where I live? So anyways, he gets in his car and he goes home. And I did have a chance to test the bumper to see if it matched the car. And it didn't fit perfectly, but it fit pretty heckin' close. Okay, so I go to this kid's house and he pulls out his bumper. And his has like something to go in, like hooks in to the front end and it clicks in. He took his off because they had a tree removed and it was just the stump that was left, and he backed over the stump and it just ripped the front end off. So anyways, I'm looking at the bumpers side by side and I'm like, oh shit, that's not the bumper, that's not the same bumper, this is not the same car. And I'm obviously very apologetic because while I didn't accuse him to his face, I did accuse him to my neighbors. Like, pretty sure that's the car. So anyways, I got them all hyped up and it was just a pretty gnarly experience, but all is well. I'm like, I'm sorry. And he goes, no, I'm sorry. And he's like, just wrong place, wrong time. And I said, yeah, it really was a pretty crazy case because, and the more I'm thinking about it, like, nobody would go down that street the day after absolutely obliterating somebody's mailbox. There's no way. Especially not with the damage done to his car. So anyways, not the brightest moment, but hindsight's always 20/20. So I go home. We're good, right? Oh, I did meet an adult while I was at the kid's house, and I'm pretty sure it was his older brother. He was definitely drunk at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and he was telling me, he was like, hey, adult name, tell me what happened to my car. What happened here and here? And he's like, huh, yeah, dude, like where were we at? It was Christmas. We were in Christmas, Florida. If you know, then you know. There's no street lights or anything on 50. So he said, we were driving and there was a turn. It was raining real bad, and he turned and he lost control of his car, and he just hit the guardrail, the back of the car hit the guardrail. And I'm like, okay. Like, I believed him. I believed the kid when he told this story, but, you know, the adult came in and said it, and I was like, you know what? 100%. They didn't have any time to corroborate the story, but it was just, you know, they both said it at different times. So that happened. And so I go back to my neighbor's house, give an update. That is definitely not the car. And my neighbor at this point is laying down. The husband is laying down because he has high blood pressure, but his wife answers the door and she's like, I don't know, you know, I feel I'm very trusting of people, and you know, my son lied straight to my face several times, but he's very convincing. And I'm like, yeah, I had just, the bumpers didn't match. And she goes, I've just learned to be skeptical. And I'm like, okay, and now I'm like second guessing myself, but surely I'm not getting hoodooed by a fucking teenager. So anyways, I'm like, you know what? I really don't think it is the car. And I go back to my house and I'm chilling out. It's the Saturday before Easter. I'm like, I'm chilling. I want to relax. About an hour, maybe an hour and a half later, I get a knock on my door. Oh God. I look on the camera. It's the kid. What are you doing at my house? He comes and he says, hey, Miss Amanda, I just wanted to say, I know we're cool. I think you're really cool, and I really appreciate you being kind to me. But I might have fucked up, and I told my daddy what happened. I said, well, that's okay. You can, that's your decision. You can tell your parents whatever you want to tell them. And he goes, no, I don't think you understand, Miss Amanda. He was asking about like going to the cops. Like, am I going to go to the cops? Because he ripped me out of my car. And I was like, oh, yeah. I know he's good. He's good now, right? Like, he's laying down. He has high blood pressure, and that like sent him over the edge, right? He's down for the count. And he said, so you don't think we'd have a problem like driving down here anymore? And I said, no. You should be good. You should be good. And no longer than I say that, an older Ford Expedition pulls up, and I'm looking at the street, and the kid's looking at me, right? And we're facing each other. And I says to him, is that your daddy? Did your daddy just pull up? And he goes, oh shit, yeah, it is. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Like, I'm about to get my ass reamed, even though I saved this kid's life, probably. So, but I also probably the one that put it in danger. So, anyways. So, his daddy comes up, and I'm like, hey, I'm Amanda. And he goes, hey, Amanda, I just want to come by and say thank you for treating my kid like a human being and being so nice to him. And I said, that's so nice. Of course. You got a really great kid here. I'm just sorry he got caught up in this. Just what are the chances, you know, because I showed his daddy the video of the car and he goes, well, shit, I'd probably think it was my kid too. And I said, yeah, it's pretty crazy coincidences. And he goes, but your fucking neighbor owes him an apology. And I said, you right. And I didn't know how to say, well, that's not going to happen to him in the moment. So I didn't say anything. I was like, yeah, you right. So anyways, we do some exchanges of like just funny stories, and stuff like that. And they're like, Happy Easter, I hope you have a great one, and everybody goes home. So we're all good, right? And my husband's getting ready to go work that evening, and we run into our neighbors, and my neighbor came up and he goes, hey, I just want to let you know I did go over there and apologize. And I said, that's really nice. He goes, no, it really wasn't. I was totally 100% in the wrong. And I said, yeah, that's okay. You know, shit happens, and all you can do is really like learn and grow from it. And he goes, you're so wise. And I'm like, thanks. You know, I'm only 26 years old. I'm not very wise. I don't know shit. So anyways, I've learned to take a compliment. Okay, so I said thanks. So anyways, that's the end of that story. Our mailbox still needs to be fixed. I mean, it's up, but it's not the sexiest mailbox in the city no more. So anyways, there's that. So all that's to say, our next box will be reinforced with concrete. I'll probably slather it in concrete because I want the next person that hits my mailbox to be so mad that our mailbox is as strong as it is. They actually come to my door and say, your mailbox fucked my car up. Good. I hope so. So anyways, the next episode, I'll be sitting down with one of my favorite hairstylists in the area. And she's going to be talking about her awful rental experiences. So stick around, and I'll see you next time. Love you guys.